So I only discovered Hungry Horse recently, and I think they're just like Wetherspoons. So why not compare the two? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do today. And the food we're going to be comparing is fish and chips. So let's start off first with Wetherspoons. So we all know Wetherspoons as the place to go for a cheap and cheerful meal. But is that about to change? Hopefully we'll find out today. Now this Wetherspoons is one that I've been to before and really like, so the perfect place to go for this comparison. Let's head in. The inside of this place is really impressive, no matter how many times you visit, and I really like the sort of 1930s Art Deco type decor in here. I mean, look how impressive it is. The menu is the standard one as can be seen in many other Wetherspoons and has the usual infinite amount of food options. The meal I'm getting today is the freshly battered cod and chips. Does that actually mean they batter in the kitchen? I'm not sure. I ordered mine with an included drink in the price and I chose a cup of tea, which is unlimited refills. It's always the best way to go. So let's make a quick drink before the food arrives. Right, so here is the Wetherspoons freshly battered cod and chips. And I have to say, it's a great looking meal. Let's have a closer look at what you get. You get a huge piece of battered cod with an interesting looking batter, so looking forward to trying it. A wedge of lemon on the side, a portion of the standard Wetherspoons chips, and garden peas. Let's dig in. The first thing you have to do with any fish and chips is add some salt and vinegar, and I like a lot of it, so here it goes. I'm going to start off with a chip. They're the standard ones you get with any meal that includes chips, and I really like them. The consistency in quality of chips is always there. Let's see if that's true for this batch. Delicious. It's true indeed. The outside is crispy, which is helped by not having a smooth texture. It's kind of rough. The inside is soft and fluffy with a nice potato flavour. They're good chips, I can't fault them. Let's move on to the peas and get one of our 5 a day in. They're a good colour, not too overly artificial or too pale. You can opt for mushy peas or baked beans also. I went for these. Let's try them. Nice. You get a slight snap to the outside and a great pea flavour to the middle. Good peas. I think before I move on to the fish, I'm going to try out the tartar sauce. It's the sachet kind you get here, but it is Heinz, so a good brand. Let's squeeze it out onto the plate. I always prefer the fresh kind, but some sachet ones can be good. The vessel I'm going to use to try out the sauce has got to be a chip to start off with. I've got a nice coating on the chip, let's try it. Very nice. It's more of a sour tang rather than creamy tang, but it's not bad. Right, I think it's time to try out the fish. Is it 2 pieces I've got here, or is it broken in the middle? Let's cut into it and see. I think it's just 1 piece. It's a great looking piece of fish, I have to say. The batter is a bit rougher in texture than most others I've seen. I've got a little piece of it here and can't wait to try it. I've got a bit of the batter, I've got a bit of the fish itself. There's only one thing left to do. Eat it. Delicious. You get a crunch from the batter straight away. The fish on the inside is soft and flaky. I think it could do with being a bit thicker. In fact, let's try out a bit of the fish on its own. Now, it does say on the menu that it's cod, so you do know the type of fish you're getting. It flakes apart well. It's a nice white colour too, and still holds its shape even when put onto the fork, which can sometimes not be the case. Let's eat it. Nice. It does have a stronger fish flavour than cod that I've had before. Cod is normally subtle, but this kind of has a bit more flavour to the fish. Let's try out a bit of the batter on its own, as it's a pretty interesting looking one. It's a really rough batter with a lot of peaks and troughs. It's a decent thickness too. Let's try it. Tasty. It kind of feels light and heavy at the same time. I think it's the peaks that are light and the troughs that are heavy, if you can imagine that. Right, I think it's time for some combo bites. The first one is the classic, just a fish with chip and nothing else apart from the salt and vinegar. Let's go for it. Very nice. I added a few of the peas onto this next one to give it a bit of freshness. Here it goes. Delicious. And this next one is the ultimate. The crispy fish, the chips, the peas, and a dip in the tartar sauce. But I think I might be able to add one more thing to top it all off. A squeeze of the lemon too. Fantastic. This was a good fish and chips. The batter of the fish really surprised me. It's a little different to the usual batter you tend to get in restaurant fish. It's kind of like batter with tempura on top, so two batters. Either way, I combo bited my way through this meal and finished it all off. What a great fish and chips that was. The fish was surprisingly really tasty, and the total cost of that meal was £10.25. Let's move on next to Hungry Horse. So can Hungry Horse really challenge the might of Wetherspoons? Well, I'm here to find out. They're a little rarer to find, and this one is a little bit further out of the city. It's called the Lawnswood Arms. Let's head in. The menu is probably just as big as Wetherspoons, with some being maybe more exotic, like jerk chicken and tandoori sizzler chicken. Might have to come back and try them. Today though, I'm here for the classic fish and chips. But something interesting happened as I ordered. My fish and chips were part of the £5 Monday to Friday Epic Dishes deal, which meant I got it for £5 instead of the normal £8.99. Who would have thought? It's cheaper than Wetherspoons. I ordered a tea with my meal, which sadly was full price, but I can't complain too much. So let's have a quick drink before the food arrives. Okay, so here is the Hungry Horse classic fish and chips. Again, it's a nice looking plate of food. Let's see exactly what you get. You have a big piece of fish with a wedge of lemon on top. The batter is a great colour. You get a portion of garden peas. You can opt for mushy peas too if you want that. A portion of chips and a pot of fresh tartar sauce. Let's dig in. I'm going to start off again with putting some salt and vinegar on, and a lot of it too. You can never have enough salt and vinegar in my opinion. And I even end up going back for a second sprinkling halfway through the meal sometimes. The chips are where I'm going to begin. Now these chips look a bit more standard with the colour and texture of the outside. Let's see how they taste. Nice. The outside is crisp with almost a crunch as you bite into them. I think these have been deep fried rather than oven cooked unless I'm mistaken. The inside is soft and fluffy too, although not as substantial in the middle with the amount of potato as the Wetherspoons ones, but still pretty good. Let's move on to the peas. Now peas are normally similar in most places because how many different kinds of frozen peas can there be? Well, unless they're tinned. Let's see what these ones are like. Decent. They have a bit of a pop when you bite into them and a subtle pea flavour. I think I do prefer the ones at Wetherspoons though. They seem to be a bit more fresher. Next up is the tartar sauce. So I always prefer the fresh tartar sauce over the sachet ones as they seem to taste nicer. Let's see if that's true for this one. Delicious. It's true indeed. The fresh ones seem to be creamier but still have that contrasting sour tang. It's a good tartar sauce. Right, let's move on to the fish. It seems to be a wide and thin piece, but the colour of the batter looks great. Let's cut into it and see the fish in the middle. Okay, so it's actually thicker than I thought it would be. It's deceptively a bigger piece than it looks. The batter seems to be a thin one too. I'm looking forward to trying this one. I've cut off a bit of the fish with the batter. Let's go in for a bite and see what it's like. Delicious. This has the taste of the fish that you would get at a chip shop. Normally in restaurants, the fish is not as good as a chip shop, but this one is actually similar tasting. Let's try out a bit of the fish on its own, as it doesn't say on the menu whether it's cod or haddock or something else. Again, it's a nice white colour. It's not too soft that it flakes away, so you can get it onto your fork. Let's eat it. Very nice. The fish is meaty yet soft and flaky at the same time. It's more juicy than the Wetherspoons ones. I still can't really tell if it's cod or haddock or anything else. It's quite neutral tasting, but still has a fish flavour. Let's move on to the batter on its own. It's a lot thinner than the Wetherspoons one, a bit more delicate. I really do like the golden brown colour of it. Let's go in for a bite. Fantastic. The flavour is really like a chip shop flavour to me. It's crispy in texture and light too. It goes perfectly with the fish. Okay, I think it's time for some combo bites. This is the classic one first. Fish, chip with salt and vinegar. Delicious. And now with the peas too. Nice. And for the ultimate bite, everything from before but dipped into that creamy tangy tartar sauce, plus a squeeze of lemon. Incredible. A bit of a surprising meal, better than I thought, especially the fish. I think I'll have to come back and try out the other meals on the Monday to Friday deal. For this one though, I finished it off with combo after combo. So that was a nice fish and chips meal. The fish again was surprisingly delicious. So the total cost of all that food was £6.89. So which was the better fish and chips? Comment down below your thoughts. For me, it's a bit of a tough decision. I like the fish better here at Hungry Horse. It was tastier, but the chips and peas were better at Wetherspoons. It was cheaper though here at Hungry Horse, and I think because of that and the fish tasting better, I think I'm going to have to give it to Hungry Horse. So does that mean there's a new sheriff in town? Well, I think I'm going to have to try a few more dishes, but on this occasion, Hungry Horse takes it. Okay, if you like this video, click on the thumbs up icon below and click on subscribe to come along for the next food journey, and I'll see you there.